Hello everybody, Burton Warner here. Where we left off in the last video was we had the guitars tracked, we had some drums laid down, and we had just laid down the bass line. So basically the next step is going to be to track out the drums. Right now they're all coming in on this Easy Drummer track. So everything's coming through this. We're going to separate each of the tracks by what they are and name them appropriately. That way we can mix them down and affect them differently. So also, I think my bass was kind of loud last time, so I'm going to pull that down in the mix a bit. Here's the little mix window. Let's just check that volume. Okay, that's a workable volume. So, like I said, first thing is we're going to get the drums squared away. And then we're going to split up the three bass parts by the different frequencies and put some effects on them separately. So, again, drums. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Easy Drummer and I'm going to go to the mixer. So you can see here that the kicks are on track 1. Well, this is track 1, Easy 1, Easy 2, Easy 3. So right now, if you look at the bottom here, they're all going to track 1. Well, let's start splitting those out. So instead of Easy 1, we'll make that kicks for the kicks or the bass drum. Second one's going to be the snare. Third one is the toms. Next one is the hi-hat. Next one is the overhead. And again, this is by microphone. Okay, so it depends on how the drum kit is mic'd up. This is a pretty simple miking. The kicks are mixed down into one track. The snare is just the top and it's one mic. The toms are one mic. The hi-hat is one mic and the overhead is stereo. The ambient, which is the next one, overhead ambient, which is an ambient room mic, I believe is mono. It may be stereo as well. And then we have compressor, which is the whole kit through a compressor, but you can mix that differently. Next one is reverb, and again, I think it's the whole kit. And then one-shot, shaker, tambourine. The rest we're not going to use, so I'm going to actually highlight those and get rid of them. There we go. Right-click, remove tracks. So that cleans them up. Now we're going to go through and change these to the different channels. So again, snares on 2, toms on 3, hi-hats on 4, etc., etc. So I just go down one by one. They're lined up nicely that way. 7. These are actually gone. I don't even. Why not? All right, so now they're going to individual tracks. Now when I play, you'll see each of these lighting up as opposed to just the one track. So let me show you that real quick. See, each of them except toms is lighting up separately, so we'll be able to mix them separately. Okay, with my drums, what I will generally do is I'll actually put them through a crush bus too. So I'm going to insert a new track. Went in the wrong place and move it up. I'm just going to call it crush. Crush bus is some pretty heavy compression. I like to use another Audio Assault plugin called Head Crusher. There's another couple that I like as well, but we'll go ahead and use this one for this piece. Now, I don't pass the whole drum kit through to it. I will only pass the kicks, the snare, and toms if they're being used. So the way you do that is you go into each of these tracks. Let me pull over the mixer again. So the kick drum, see the kicks, I'll pull this little icon right here, which is the routing icon, and I'll put it up here. By default, it goes 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. That's primarily for side chaining, and we'll see that a little bit very shortly. But for right now, I'm going to put that to 1 and 2. So that's going to make the kick drum go through this. Just to kind of show you, I'm going to solo the crush bus, and we're going to push play. So you can see all that's going through it right now is the kick drum. All right, I'm going to send the snare now. And again, 1 and 2. I'm going to send the toms. I don't remember if we even have any in here, but all right, so everything is routed. Oh, there were some toms. I'm just starting it over because I'm going to start tweaking this. Turning up the shaping. This is adding compression. It's adding some distortion. And the nice part is this will mix with the regular drum bus. So you can get a punchier sound for the snare and the kicks than the rest of it. So I'm going to add in the drum bus in the solo mode. Then we can mix this in or out to taste. Another little trick I like to do is the reverb that comes with Easy Drummer. I'll pan either hard left or hard right so that reverb is only coming out one side. It helps fill out the drum size, makes it seem bigger. Let's go ahead and start this over. We're hitting the CPU a little bit. Let's turn up the shaping. It has some other features here, a high cut, a low cut, just overall tone. Try the different 4 modes down there. Again, we've got it soloed, so all we're hearing is the compressed, the crushed drums. It's about right. I like that. It doesn't sound that great by itself, but when you mix it in, it adds an extra little punch to the drums. This is what they call parallel compression, because basically I can mix the uncompressed and the compression however I feel, like no compression. Start over. Let me turn it back on my mixer. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, one more thing I like to do is I'll add some reverb on the snare. You see me use this for the guitars, but Lexicon is a reverb I like for the snare too. Lexicon by Tukin. Plate. It's a little much. Right about there. We could also tweak it with EQ, compression, whatever we wanted, but I think that sounds pretty good. It's one of the nice things about this Easy Drummer in the MIDI packs. Sounds good right out of the box. So, move the mixing window out of the way. Okay, that's good enough for right now. I'm going to minimize these. And now we're going to work on the bass. So if you remember, I said that we're going to split up the different frequencies. So I'm going to start by doing that. First thing I like on the bass is I put some compressor. I am not that good a bass player, so I'm not that even. There are notes that are going to be louder than the others. So I like to put on a compressor just to tame it a little bit, even out the notes. This Reacomp is a good one. A couple things I usually change. The default ratio is 1. Why, I don't know, but I'll change that to 4. I'll speed up the attack a little bit. Speed up the release a little bit, and I'll use the auto makeup. Now we're going to play. Turn off the soloing. Okay, got some compression on it. Now we're going to add the splitter to split up the frequencies. So I'll just type in splitter, and we're going to use a 3-band splitter. So the low frequencies I'm going to take from 20 hertz all the way up to about 150 hertz. And we're going to change the pin out. So yeah, it's going to be the low. We don't really need to change it here. So let's go ahead and play again. And I'm going to solo. This is just the bass, the low frequency. Now, while that sounds pretty good, I think we can make it sound a little better. So I am actually going to add in an amplifier. what is it called? Duality. This is another audio salt plugin called Duality. And what we want here is the lows. We want it to be kind of punchy. So we're going to increase the attack a little bit. We've already got compression on, so we're not going to turn it on here. Don't really need any distortion on this part. I like this part to be clean. I like to be a little punchier too, so I'm going to actually add in a cabinet through an IR loader. And the same IR loader that I use for my guitars. And in here I've got some Ampeg bass cabinets. Just pop one in. And we'll do the normalizer too. Get down to getting kind of a low rumble there. So I'm going to adjust the amp again a little bit. Trying to figure out where that rumble's coming from by eliminating. It's coming from this amplifier. Let's see if we can clean that up. Turn it back on. There we go. It was a combination of the subs being up and the attack, I believe. Now keep in mind, this is just the low frequencies. This is from 20 hertz all the way up to 150 hertz. Let's go with that. So now let's go ahead and add in our mids. So first thing we're going to do there is we're going to do the compressor again. Same one. And we're going to change that to 4:1. Speed up the attack. Speed up the release a little bit. Turn on auto makeup. Adjust the threshold to where I'm getting about 3 dB of reduction. All right, with that done, let's put the splitter in. Again, the 3-band splitter. And this time, the low frequency is going to be 150. I'm going to go from 150 to 500. So here, we're going to change this pin out to the mids. On this frequency, I like to start adding in some distortion. So let's go ahead and do the TSE. This is a simulation of a pedal. I've actually got the pedal. It's a Sansamp bass driver DI. And this does a pretty good job of duplicating it. So we can shape it here a little bit. Add some distortion. I'm going to turn the lows down. Highs up and presence up. Start to play again. Let's try a IR loader here too. Bass cabs, 48 kilohertz. All right, we'll add the normalizer. Turn it down. Do a little bit more drive. All right. I think that's pretty good for that. Now we're going to set up the highs. Now the highs, sometimes I like more distortion than I even get with any of the bass drives that I use. So in this case, I think I'm going to actually use a high gain guitar amp, which I already have here. I've already added that, so let's unmute. The bass down a little bit. So you see what we're doing is mixing the three different bass parts with different effects on each. It's the same part underneath. And then we can mix in the amount we want of each. So you want a good balance. You need that bottom end to be nice and clean. Again, the mids, a little distortion. The highs, I like a lot of distortion. All right, let's take off solo. Okay, pretty happy with that mix. So now we're going to go into the mastering, which is basically getting the overall sound. So I like the mixes. I like the tones that we're getting on all the different instruments. So that part is good. What I do for that is I'll go to the master bus here, which is, it affects everything. And you can see I've got one effect in there right now. And that is just so I can get the audio over into OBS so I can record it and you can hear it. So what I'm going to add next is another compressor, but it is a multi-band compressor. Let's go to comp. This RIA X comp. Right there. Let's do that one. This one has some presets that sound pretty good, so I'm going to go through them. We'll try to see what the best one is for this piece. Go ahead and move that out of sight and play. There's another piece I'm going to add in too. It's a stereo enhancer. So we'll just start with stereo enhancer. I'm actually going to move that above the let's move this to the bottom so you guys can hear it all. On the stereo enhancer, I usually do the width of 170 for the lows and the highs. Just a setting that I found works pretty well. So you're going to hear it first without, and then I'll turn it on. It just enhances it somehow. I'm not exactly sure what it does. I know it splits the frequencies and splits out the stereo based on frequency. So the next thing I'm going to add in is a limiter. Toucan again. I'm going to add that in as a limiter, and I am going to add in this meters. Because this is going on YouTube. Let's just do meter. It needs to be roughly -13 LUFS. So this will actually measure that and show us what it is. And again, I'm putting this RIA stream at the bottom because that's where all the sound from the DAW is going to come from. So I'll make sure you get all of these effects. And if I double click on this, it'll pop up a separate meter. So let's go ahead and play. You see the volume a little high, -11, it should be about -13. I don't like working the limiter too hard. We could bring that down using the limiter, which we'll probably do a little bit, but I'm going to play with the X comp up here as well. And we're going to bring down the gain a hair on that. All right, just making a few little tweaks here and there. Every time you stop and start, this LUFS meter starts over because it's an averaging type of utility. Okay, pretty happy with that. So the next step is simply to export it to an MP3 and then mix it down to a video, which I usually download a lot of clips from Pexels. In this case, I'm just video recording with my webcam, but normally I'll use Pexels and come up with an idea for the song, a theme, and the videos will be in that theme, and I cut them up and paste them to the music. And for that, I usually use Blender as my video editor. Sometimes I'll use OpenShot. I'll be using OpenShot for this, probably, because it's simpler than using Blender, and I don't need to do much with this. So that is my process. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember, like and subscribe. And if you got any comments or questions, put them in, and I'll be happy to answer what I can anyway. And have a great day.